you're gonna have to give me proof of this 30-year period where you just kind of.
So you're not going to try to have the case dismissed?
I certainly do not want to have the case dismissed.
Amazing.
Yeah. There's nothing you can do about it. And I'm going to impoverish you for even telling people. Like, that's what this lawsuit is. I'm going to impoverish you for telling the truth. And everything that I do, I have to be able to put my head on a pillow at night and say, I feel like I did what I thought was the right thing to do, and it was a good thing to do.
All right, Candace went back on Tucker Carlson. She had some things to say about this case. And I just want to look at just a few snippets of the conversation. Get your thoughts on it. So let's jump into it. Let's go.
So this is all of everything that you've said for the past 20 minutes makes me think they'd be crazy to bring this to trial because that would allow you discovery.
I think they're banking on us dismissing it. I think one of two options.
What does that mean?
You can at first file to dismiss the case because you're going, hi, we have the First Amendment right. This is crazy. It's coming from Paris. I mean, like, why on earth would we honor this at all? Secondly, it's like, are we really going to allow the French president to come in here and like stifle my right to speech? And typically in a normal scenario, a judge would dismiss this case because it's completely crazy. And we can obviously then.
I don't know about that though, Candace. We've seen entirely too many defamation cases. I think she wants it to be dismissed, and she's praying that the judge sees it that way. But why would they dismiss it? What would be the basis for dismissing it? And why did they not dismiss the previous cases that we've talked about, where there were defamation cases? Candace, I don't think you have a leg to stand on in that regard. And I think she knows that, though. Let's go.
Produce the evidence that we asked them these questions and they chose not to reply to them for whatever reason. I think they want us to dismiss it. And again, I'm guessing just so they can say, oh, well, we tried, but America has its own beast and they have actual malice. Or they are going to pretend that Brigitte died from grief. I don't know. Because clearly they're not.
That's such a weird flex. Like, the Brigitte dies is crazy work. Now, of course, I think she's like silently praying that happens. But Candace, what about the other option? Just think about it. Do you ever think about how crazy it would be to file such a grandiose lawsuit knowing that you are in the wrong, bringing all this attention, the Streisand effect, knowing that you're wrong, only to hope and pray and wish that they would dismiss it? That would be crazy. It doesn't make sense. I think the other option, and I keep saying this, Candace, do you ever make room for the idea that you could be wrong? Do you make room for the fact that you could be wrong?
Going to go through discovery, right? If you were going to go through discovery, you would have just published pictures a long time ago and put an end to all the rumors, right? Because then you're going to have to give me proof of this 30-year period where you just kind of.
So you're not going to try to have the case dismissed?
I certainly do not want to have the case dismissed.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I've never heard that
we're having these discussions.
Guys, I just want to linger on this for a moment, having been around a lot of lawsuits. I've never heard anybody sued, particularly they're spending a lot of money on this because Tom Clare and his wife have big expenses and I think they charge a lot. I've never heard anybody say, I don't want a well-funded case against me to be dismissed.
It's how I feel. And the reason that I feel that way truly, amazing. Tucker, is because this is so much bigger. And we're having those discussions. We've spoken to the lawyer. We want it moved to Tennessee. They filed in Delaware. What's happening here is so much bigger and so much more important for the world.
Delaware, really?
Yeah, which is interesting. Hunter kind of notoriously said, like, we control the courts in Delaware. But
Fox News found out. Absurd case against Fox News by Dominion. I was not named in it. I got sucked into it. But Tom Clare was involved in that case, and it was in Delaware. And they just had a completely compliant judge. It was just a joke, actually.
It's funny how they're already setting up the narrative, like that the court system is unfair. We tried to move it to Tennessee because I'm a mother of 4, and I can't be moving from Delaware to Tennessee, blah, blah, blah. But, man, that's where your LLC is. She doesn't mention that's where the LLC is. She doesn't give a full orbed, let me tell you why. The reason they filed in Delaware is because that's where my LLC is. Like, well, why did they file in Georgia? Why did they file in Utah? Well, of course, because you have no affiliation there. Just because you live in Tennessee, but your LLC, which they are suing, is incorporated in Delaware. Just be upfront and honest, Candace. That's all we're asking.
Well, that's very interesting because they did file in Delaware, and it is a place where we know that the courts are corrupt. But this would be a kind of precedent that would be, I think, almost even to.
So she only talks about the courts being corrupt in Delaware. So the same judge that she wants to dismiss this is part of that court system, and she's just saying that they're corrupt. But she doesn't also mention like they're corrupt, but I also started my LLC in there, incorporated my LLC there. Maybe people will wonder why your LLC is there. Candace, I'm just something to think about.
You crazy for Delaware. You're talking about a sitting president of another country coming in and saying, I'm going to sue you for telling the truth. We have truth on our side, right? We actually have truth. So unless he's going to say, blah, 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 I'm not looking at anything and you're going to get no discovery and we're just going to award this person. I mean, you got to give the other side discovery, right?
How does Macron collect, as a foreign head of state, how does he collect?
There is nothing that we can look at. We are pioneering this, obviously, because this has never happened in the history of the world that a sitting president of a foreign country has sued a journalist and a podcaster in another country. It's never happened. So we don't know. I didn't even know how we could sue, actually. I thought that you could only sue in a country. I just am learning with everybody else.
It's amazing
how this is going to work. But again, speaking of Tom Clare and Dominion, as he was sitting up there giddy with Jake Tapper, as these representatives of like the state, because that's what they represent. They represent the state and
of
the state
course. Well,
thuggery.
they always represent the state.
But they're
right.
giddy talking about Dominion. Because Jake Tapper sits to him, he's like, and how much did you get from Dominion lawsuit? That's a lot of money. You're going to sue her for all that money. And that tells you who their master is, right?
Oh, I think we knew.
These people are satanic, right? That you can't beat me in the arena of truth and facts. So what do you do next? Well, I'm going to punish you. I'm going to destroy your livelihood. You're going to have nothing to your name. And that's why I say this case matters so much more to me, because we can't have this sort of behavior coming from people that are governing us, right? That say, even if you find the truth, even if I am a pervert, even if I got away with sleeping with my student, even though his parents try to take him away, there's nothing you can do about it. And I'm going to impoverish you for even telling people. Like, that's what this lawsuit.
No. Because they actually admitted that they had the relationship. I don't even know, like, what do you want? Let's go with the student-teacher relationship, which is 100% ridiculously out of pocket. That's abominable. What do you want them to do now, though? They're married. What do you want to happen? Everybody knows it because they've actually put it in the lawsuit. It's been well-established fact. What do you want them to do with the fact that she was, I don't know, 100 and he was 15? I don't know how, whatever. What do you want them to do? You're not bringing forth new information. We know that that's some freaky, crazy, age cougar type of stuff. What do you want to happen, Candace? Really, when this boils down to it, it's not about those issues, because those are issues that are already on the table that people already know about. You're not doing anything new. You're not bringing new revelation. This is not about those things. I'm just saying.
It is. I'm going to impoverish you for telling the truth. And they're happy. You got to see that he's like giddy discussing it. And then he turns in the camera, Jake Tapper, and goes, Fox News did this. And how much money did you get? Like, it's totally bizarre. I'm like, that's your master. And you're going to come up against a hard rock here, because I don't care about money. If I hope the story of Candace Owens over the last 2 years, people have come to understand that money is not my master.
I think that's very obvious to everyone. What's interesting, though, since I know everybody you're talking about, is you're the happiest person by far. And I don't mean to be like fake pious or whatever, like the good guys win in the end, but it is true that you can tell who's speaking truth by who is calm and happy. It is true.
Yeah.
Lying makes you afraid, brittle, angry. It does. I've lied before. It makes me afraid, brittle, and angry. And the more you tell the truth, the calmer you are.
Right.
I just think that's real. And anyway, I don't think in the end you win siding with the state against the truth teller.
No, and that's why I asked that question. Like, Tom, I know you've watched every minute of the series. You know that they are surrounded by these people. You know about the children victims that have been silenced. Is it really worth it?
You said that to him?
Yeah, on my
What did he say?
podcast. I just said I have to openly, as we went through this Manouche affair and this woman ending up dead because they fought to like get this pedophile and creature in Amiens released. I just asked him, like, is it really worth it? Like, because for me, I couldn't look at a case that involved the abuse of children or a network of people who are involved with the abuse of children, who have admitted to abusing children, who are defending people who have admitted to abusing children, and put my head on the pillow at night. And that's what matters most. In everything that I do, I have to be able to put my head on the pillow at night and say, I feel like I did what I thought was the right thing to do, and it was a good thing to do.
Yes.
Man, and nobody's disagreeing with that, Candace. Actually, I think that is a very true point. I just wonder, do you argue the same with the same veracity of child brides in the Middle East? Do you argue the same veracity of this crazy trafficking that's going on here in the United States of children? I'm just wondering, again, whether or not dude looks like a lady, which seems to be the pinnacle of your discussion, the pinnacle of your thought, because you realize she's only talking about discovery related to the DNA test of the Macrons. Whether or not Lady Macron is a man or not is really not the discussion topic. The issue is, are you being a fair dealer, and are you really true? What is the end goal, end result of this? Because nobody's been able to show me that this is going to change anything. I hate to say it, but if they do find out that the Macron is a woman or is a man, nothing's going to change. Not one thing is going to change. So why are you not speaking out again about child brides or all this trafficking? There's so many other things that you could be using your voice for. And I think, though I believe that you're passionate about it, I do think you're passionately wrong. But let's finish this up. End of it.
And most people are not guided by that. They're guided by this master of money, right? And they're willing to do these sorts of things, to look the other way.
All right, so that's that. Let me know what y'all think about it down in the comments. I know my Candacites, y'all jump up in here real quick and let me know. I'm telling you right now, the Macron relationship is total grimy, is an abomination. So before you jump in the comments and say something else ignorant, I've already said that. But what's going to change? What do you want to change? What do you want to be the result? Okay, fine. She was 39 and he was 15. What do you want to happen? They're married now. What do you want to be the solution? I'm just wondering. Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I really do appreciate each and every one of y'all. So until next time. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Jay Whip Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment, because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.